Hello and welcome to this next video. Okay, we're going to carry on fairly simple, just like the last one, and finish off this percentages topic. Okay, there's not a lot of we need to know about percentages for the numeracy unit, and this will finish it off. Okay, hopefully, and you all did well in the last set of work, this will follow on from it fairly nicely. Okay, so instead of now just looking at how we work out a percentage of something, we're doing it in a bit more context, more like you'd actually see in the real world. Okay, we're going to look at these two questions. Okay, we will look at a third one after, but we're going to do that one a little differently. So let's just focus on these first. Okay, so question one. A fridge was for sale at £600 plus VAT. Now remember, VAT is a tax we pay on top of things. Okay, so that means the fridge was for sale at £600 plus another amount of money. Okay, what is the total price of a fridge if VAT is 20%? Okay, so let's have a look at this then. Question one. So the normal price is £600. Okay, so it's going to be 600 plus VAT. Okay, but we know VAT is 20%. So what we need to do then is work out what 20% of 600 is and just add that on, and that will give us our total price. Okay, so what I'm going to write down is just what that is. So that's 600 plus 20%. Okay, so now let's go and work out what 20% is. Okay, so this is just like we did in the last video. So remember, to work out 20%, what we do is we divide the number by 100. So it's going to be 600 divided by 100, which is 6. And then we times it by the percentage. We times it by 20. So what we'll do now then is we'll take that £6 and we times that by 20. You can do this on your calculator and it will give you an answer of £120. Okay, so that means now I know that the total price is 600, and instead of saying just 20% now, I know 20% is £120. So that's 600 plus £120. So that tells me the total price of that, what was question one? It was a fridge, is £720. Okay? One way we make sure that's right, just a quick little check, is that it was £600 plus VAT. So our total needs to be bigger. Okay? We need to add on that 20%. Okay? But that 20% we work out exactly the same way we'd work out any percentage. You could do it the other way we looked at. Remember, we also said that to work out 20% of something, we could do £600 times by 0.2, and if we did that on our calculator, that would still give us £120, and we just add it on. Okay, doesn't matter which of these ways we do it, as long as we add it onto our price, that will give us the answer. Okay, now question two is very similar, but let's see if you can spot the slight difference. Okay, question two. David bought a TV that was normally £380 in a 40% off sale. What did he pay? Okay, so normally that TV was £380. Okay, and it was in a 40% off sale. So that means I'm going to be taking away 40% of the price. Okay, I'm taking away 40%. And that means we're expecting our answer to be smaller. That makes sense. In a sale, the answer would be, the price would be smaller than it originally was. But we'll do it exactly the same way. We'll work out what 40% is, and then just take that away from 380. So let's do that. So I'm just going to put a line between these to keep them separate. And again, We'll work out that 40% in both ways because I don't mind which way you do. Either one works. So 40%. Okay, let's do the first way. We'll divide by 100, so that means 380 here. And we divide that by 100. Again, we can do this on our calculators, but that gives us an answer of £3.80. And then times that by 40. So then I do £3.80 and I times that by 40. Again, we can use our calculator for this, and £3.80 times 40 is £152. So that means I'll add that on. Okay, so that means I've got 380. Sorry, I'll take it away, not add it on. My mistake. Take away £152 because I've worked out that's what 40% is. And again, do this on your calculator, okay? It's there for a reason. Don't try and do hard things like this in your head if you don't need to, okay? You've got a calculator to make things easy for you and save you time, okay? So if you pop this into your calculator, that's going to give you £228 as your answer when you take those away from each other. Now, let's just work out the 40% the other way. Make sure we can do that because I know some of you will prefer this way. So I'll do 380. And instead of doing the divide and the times, I'll just go straight to timesing it by 0.4, which, if we pop on the calculator, gives 152. And just like we did here, we can take it away. Okay, so work this week is no harder than what we did in the last video, okay? We're working out the percentages in the exact same way, but this time we're either adding it to something to get a bigger number, or we're taking it away to get a smaller number. Now the question should always make it clear which one you're doing, either adding or taking away. Okay, if you're working out VAT or another sort of tax, you'll add it on normally. If it's in a sale, you'll take it away. Okay, so what we're going to do now, however, isn't for everyone, okay? If you understand that, perfect. That's absolutely what we want. If you feel very comfortable with it, I'm going to show you another way to do it quickly. That links into work you'll do if you go on to do National 5, okay? But if you feel happy at this point, you don't need to know this other way, okay? You can perfectly fine to leave it here. Okay, for this other way, I'm going to stick with this first question because we know what the proper answer to that is. Okay, so we know it's £600 plus 20%, okay? So it's plus 20%. But the £600, what percentage was that? That was the whole price at the start. So that was 100% of the price. Okay? So 100% at 20%. So overall, with the VAT added on, it's 120% of that original price. Okay? And we can work this out in one step, just like we did before. And that's by changing this into its decimal form. Okay? So remember, if we had, I'll just do it over here, if we had 20%, what we do is we stick a decimal point in 2 places from the end, okay? And it becomes 0.2 to times it by. And we do exactly the same here, okay? To work out 120% of something, we can just go straight to timesing it by 1.20, okay? Because we're moving a decimal point in 2 places here. Okay, so that means then to work out what this is plus the 20%, what we could do is £600 times by 1.20. Pop that on your calculator and you will get £720, which is exactly the same as what we got before. Okay, now like I said, you don't need to do this way, but it can make things a little bit quicker. You just need to be able to recognize what it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pop down some example percentages and what that would be in decimal form and see if you can follow along. Okay, so if I was adding 30% to the original price, what I would do is I would times that by 1.30. If I was adding 15%, what I would do is times that by 1.15. Okay, if I was adding 90%, what I would do is times that by 1.90. Let's do a slightly trickier one. If I was adding 5%, what I would do is times that by 1.05. Okay, and the same works for taking away. Here we've added that percentage on to 100 and it gives us 1.3. You don't need to do this. I'm going to leave this with you and see if you can figure out why it is what it is, and we'll talk about it a bit more in one of the Google Meets. Okay, if say something was in a sale and it was take away 40%, what you would do is times it by 0.60. If something was minus 15%, you would times it by 0.85. Okay, do one more. Let's do the 5% again. If something was in a sale and was 5% cheaper, what you would do is times that by 0.95. Okay, so once again, you don't need this. Okay, stick with a simpler way if you're comfortable with that. But if this makes sense to you, feel free to use this way. Okay, right. That's the end of that video. I hope it was all understandable. If not, you know how to get in touch with me. Thanks for listening and goodbye.